Whoa, 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 whoa. So, not only does she use the N word, which a lot of Latinos do, you know, I don't like it, but it is what it is. She's also a MAGA supporter, bro. That's kind of wild, bro. Love Island has a racism problem on their hands by our boy Omeezy. Let's get into it, bro.
Love Island has been sweeping the nation this summer, gluing folks to their seats every summer night except for Wednesdays and Saturdays, I think, to have people flock to a show in which the most outrageous things happen. And while you would think that the nastiest parts of the show come from when they're spitting milk in people's mouths, it's not actually.
I ain't gonna lie, that shit's nasty, boy. I'm pretty sure one of them niggas had herpes too, but that shit is crazy, bro.
See that this reality show has a racism problem.
Love Island USA contestant Sierra Ortega abruptly exited season 7 of the show after 2 of her social media posts from.
That's sick as hell, bro, because like niggas will really expose your shit when you on the way up. I mean, I guess good, but like damn nigga. 2015 is one thing, bro, but 2023, bro, you had almost 10 years to grow out of that shit, bro, and you didn't. That's crazy as hell, bro. That's actually kind of wild, bro. I'm not gonna lie. But like that's crazy because I remember the first episode where the first shorty she was saying nigga hella, bro, and it's like I guess she was from Florida. That's why she thought that it was okay, bro. But Sierra actually said like a Asian slur, bro. She said the C word, if y'all know what that is, bro. Well, she got cooked, bro. She got promptly cooked off of that, bro. Wow.
2015 and 2023 resurfaced that appeared to show her using a racial slur. In both posts, Ortega
said, Botox isn't for everyone, but I love it for me. I'm incredibly expressive with my face, and I catch myself frowning for no reason throughout the day when I'm focusing on something or thinking too hard, lol. I also think I can also be a little C-wordy when I laugh and smile, so I kind of get a mini brow lift to open my eyes and get that snatched look. This is not for me encouraging, but more so sharing. I mean, what she said wasn't crazy, bro. I think the craziest part was just the fact that, you know, she used the C word, bro. You know, I can't pronounce your name, bro, but what's good with you, man? How you doing, bro?
appeared to use language offensive to Asian people while describing cosmetic procedures she wanted to get, according to the Daily Mail. Fans took to social media prior to Ortega's departure, sharing their outrage over the situation. Ortega's former castmate Beldasha Walker is Asian American and posted on her Instagram story saying she was, quote,
hey, real nigga, bro. Appreciate you for the like, man. I ain't gonna lie.
incredibly heartbroken to find out what her fellow Islander said. Also adding, quote, it is my hope that this situation can help shed light on how big of an issue anti-Asian hate actually is.
The Stop Asian Hate movement started back in 2021 in the midst of the pandemic when everyone discovered or it was announced where the virus first came from. And although there had been hatred and racism and other discriminatory actions pre-pandemic, the pandemic really flared it up and made it to where it was a mainstream thing that needed to be.
Yeah, bro, I was about to say the pandemic pretty much made it open season for Asian niggas, bro, especially Chinese folks, bro.
Talked about and discussed. So seeing how in 2025
it was kind of like how it was for us in Africa with Ebola back in like 2014 and 15.
they would put somebody on the show who would be sharing and expressing those sorts of sentiments to this day is extremely weird and threw a lot of people off. Now, she did come out and eventually apologize over the situation.
While I was in the villa, there were some posts that resurfaced from my past where I was very naively using an incredibly offensive and derogatory.
You know, from your past would have been like the one from 2015, bro. That's excusable. But like 2023, bro, you was a grown-ass adult doing that shit, gang. That's kind of wild, bro.
Term. And before I get into the details, I want to first start by addressing not just anyone that I have hurt or deeply offended, but most importantly, the entire Asian community. I am deeply, truly, honestly so sorry. I had no idea that the word held as much pain as...
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You just didn't think it was gonna catch you in the ass like that, bro. And it be like that, man. I've been in the same boat hella times, man. Not in that specific situation, but similar. Well, not similar, but you get what I mean.
as much harm and came with the history that it did, or I never would have used it. I had no ill intention when I was using it, but that's absolutely no excuse.
Now, let me start it off by saying I am not the person that is looking to accept or deny her apology. I am not a part of that community. I, can be an ally or adjacent, but that does not mean I am the one who finally dictates if this was an okay apology or if it was not. Now, I do have to mention that the empathy sweatshirt and the jade necklace is a little bit, on the nose. But at the end of the day, I think that she did take full accountability when I watched the full thing. But it's not up to me to determine if what she said.
I was about to say, man, it's not your community, so you can't really say nothing about it, to be honest, bro. This nigga has amazing skin, I'm not gonna lie.
It was, good, bad, or indifferent. It's up to those that are a part of the community that has been affected. Let's see what they have to say.
The empathy sweater and jade necklace is crazy. And yeah, no one in the Asian community is approving. People going to her family, making them feel unsafe, making her feel unsafe. Definitely not encouraging that. Please don't do that. But how long did it take for you to remember?
That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. She wrote that whole thing off ChatGPT, bro. I ain't gonna lie, AI might have us cooked, bro. Niggas can't even give a genuine apology without ChatGPT, bro. That shit kind of crazy.
Remember
bro.
that script. Also, something that's really getting me. Sierra is saying that she agrees with the show's decision to remove her from the villa. So you knew that this was something that you said. This happened very recently, January 2024, and still decided to go on the show. So my question is, did you think that no one was going to come out with screenshots of you saying it? Because if you agree with Love Island removing you from the show and that it was a necessary punishment, why'd you even go on the show in the first place?
T-Clock.
Now,
it was for a chance to win $100,000. And I would like to mention here that
that's very fair, bro. A chance to win $100,000 plus sponsorships and all types of shit, bro. Nigga, nobody would pass up that opportunity, bro.
Don't condone some of the things that, Sierra said in her apology, which is that people were calling ICE on her family members. Totally wrong. I think that
calling ICE on her family members is kind of crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
It's just a disgusting thing to be done. But there seems to be a problem with the Love Island show by not assessing and addressing and analyzing these people that they get on their show before they actually get them on their show. And I think that in a situation,
like, bro, a background check wouldn't hurt, bro. Like, my nigga, literally just vet these niggas properly, bro. Vet these motherfuckers properly, dog. Like, why are you taking away contenders real quick before anything can happen, bro? It's the craziest thing in the world. Shay, what's good with you, bro? How you doing, man?
Situation like a Sierra, and this is gonna be crazy for me to say, there is a world in which people could grant her a slight bit of grace. The word that she used, the C word that is derogatory to Chinese people, has been used in mainstream media, pop culture, etc., for the past 20, 30, or 40 years, really for my entire lifetime and then some, and we know I'm a hunk. And was both used.
I was about to say, bro, that word has been around, bro. I'm not even from the US, bro. We have our own version of that word. If you want to know what it is, it's pretty much the same word, but just add an O at the end.
In a positive and negative light. There was a point in time in modeling and pop culture and in fashion in which Asian features were something that you wanted to strive for. You wanted to be somebody that looked a little foreign. But ultimately, that was something in the early 2000s that was accepted. And, during those days, they were letting a whole bunch of things that was offensive fly. In 2025 or 2024, when you posted it, it was 100% known to be offensive. And you are young enough to understand that it was derogatory. I can't stress that enough. But like I said, Love Island has a racism problem because she's not the only person on the cast who has used racial slurs. And this time, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about if this was racist. This was the granddaddy of them all.
Right, you fuck my nigga, perfect, but that's it. Like, now I'm fucking.
That shit's crazy, bro. That shit is crazy as hell, bro. Like, full chest and everything on a mic, bro. Not caring about the repercussions, bro.
My nigga, he's my nigga. Yeah. Like, bye, bitch. Are you that nigga that controls what she wears? Or
hey, I can comment on this one. I'm black. What kills me about these situations is that these people don't even sound right saying it. They look like caricatures.
They sound uncomfortable as hell saying it, bro.
Sound like costume. They look so fake and made up. But this is just another example of somebody who said something in the past that was racist, that was clearly on the internet, and Love Island just didn't give a damn. We don't want your half-assed apologies after you've been on the show either. Like, we really don't give a fuck about that.
Lincoln, you missed it, but N-word user, MAGA lover herself, Yulissa, was kicked off Love Island.
Whoa. So, not only does she use the N-word, which a lot of Latinos do, you know, I don't like it, but it is what it is. She's also a MAGA supporter, bro. That's kind of wild, bro. That just makes it 1,000 times worse.
Yeah, saying the N-word. And she has released her statement. So sit back and let me read it to you. Yulissa Escobar official statement. I love how you're saying it as if you're the president of the United States, which you love him. First, I want to apologize for using a word I had no right in using. Should also not
Used it crazy amount of times, man.
be in your vocabulary. Podcast clips from years ago have recently resurfaced, and I want to address it directly. In those clips, I use a word I never should have used, a racial slur. I used it ignorantly, not fully understanding the weight, history, or pain behind it. Well, you said it over and over and over and over and over.
And over and over and over and over.
I wasn't trying to be offensive or harmful, but I recognize now that intention doesn't excuse impact. And the impact of that word is real. It's tied to generations of trauma, and it is not mine to use. That's correct. At the time, I was speaking casually in conversation, not thinking deeply or critically about what I was saying. But that doesn't take away from how wrong it was. The truth is, I didn't know better then, but I do now. I've taken time to reflect, to learn, and to grow from that moment. You mean in like the day you got kicked off the show, or like someone showed you that recently and you said, oh my God, how could I have done that? That was so ignorant of me. When was the reflection period?
Look, the truth of the matter is that these people don't care about using the words. It doesn't.
They don't, bro. They just care about how their shit got affected afterwards, man.
Surprised me that 2 white women got caught using racial terms from the show or previous to the show and are only have.
Was Sierra white? I thought she was like Latino, bro. I mean, I guess like she's a white Latino, so, you know.
Some sort of remorse about the situation after the show has been aired or after they've been called out by the masses. Hell, even in Sierra's situation, there was somebody that tried to call her out at the time, and she was very dismissive of the things that she said. On this channel, on this platform, and in my real life, I don't have space or place for those that are ignorant. I can understand and take in situations and circumstances where somebody is truly learning in real time about a word or a meaning or a definition that ultimately becomes something that is racist or you know, something that they did not know before. But these people knew, especially Yulissa, the N-word user. I have no grace for her. Because to double and triple down on that point, when she took to live platforms to talk about the incident, she held no responsibility for herself and kind of just kept brushing around the argument, which is counter to her own apology.
Have you guys found another video of me talking like that?
Crazy, bro. Crazy, bro. I feel like if you get caught up in some shit and you apologize, bro, you just gotta leave it there, bro. Like, you just gotta leave it there, bro. Why are you doubling down and doing all this extra shit, bro?
No, you found that video from 4 years ago, and you guys are still holding on to that. Like if I haven't grown as a person since then. You were still old enough to know that you shouldn't be saying it, though. 100%, I was
22 Pug, appreciate you for the follow, Brody.
old. I was like 23. I should have not been speaking like that. I get that. And that Asian bullshit is bullshit. That whole like outfit shit, bro, give me a break. All of you, give me a fucking break. It's okay to cosplay a fucking costume, but I can't appreciate a look and like.
Somebody's culture is not a costume, bro. I feel like, especially with white people, bro, when you don't have your own culture, bro, other people's culture starts becoming like a costume because you don't really know what it's like to hold something with reverence.
It be fashion? You guys are crazy.
Love Island is a little bit complex of a show, not necessarily because of the things that they do on the show. I think the show is quite simple. You spit milk in people's mouths, or you lay down with somebody and lick your hand and have some quickies. That part of the show isn't the most complex part. The complex part is how it raises questions about race relations in America in 2025. You would think that a lot of these things, based off of what people tell you in the media or, you know, online or whatever the case may be, should not exist, but dealing with real life situations where you have real life people who are young 20-year-olds who really should be more tolerant as they are supposed to be described as, should not be facing all these things. But it is bringing out, some of the most vile and nasty content, not necessarily just from the people on this show, but the people who are also consuming the show are being nasty about the show.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm like, dog, you're literally talking about beating up a black woman just over a show, bro. I'm like, I get that it's a reality show. I feel like streaming is kind of in the similar situation, bro. When people have a very unlimited amount of access to you, bro, they can see everything, bro. Like, people tend to become real parasocial and think they know you better than they do, or maybe even better than you do sometimes, bro. Motherfuckers will start making think pieces and all types of shit, bro. Like, whole time, you feel me? You could have just done some shit off the fly. Weak ass punches too, bro. Damn, even a nigga got weak ass punches too.
This is absolutely disgusting, Adeline Warren. The fact that you have 1.1 million followers and you went on here and decided to try and normalize violence towards black women. This is also what I mean when I say that people this season have been acting in ways that are really showing their true colors. Because how is it that your response to just disagreeing with somebody on the show or whatever the case is to make a video with punching bags and say that you're punching Alandria and Shelly? You think this shit is just a TV show when this is people's real lives. This affects black women in real life. The rhetoric that people are spewing has consequences that go beyond a TV show. And so I don't think people understand that. And of course, then there are always going to be people in the comments who say, it's not about...
And it's all it takes is literally one really, really weird parasocial person to cross that line and do some nut shit, bro, before everybody's like, all right, bro, we need to come together and talk about what the fuck we gonna do about this, bro.
Race is not about race. Well, what is it then? Because now we have multiple examples of black women specifically being targeted with violence. Brands making violent posts about them. This influencer making a violent post about them. As I said before, all this season of Love Island showed me is the political climate that we're currently living in and why this hateful bigot is in office.
Now, if you've been watching my channel, you should know me by now. I'm always going to start with a lightweight one, but it escalates from there because not only are they treating black women like a metaphorical punching bag, they are hacking into their accounts and posting disgusting and disturbing images that I'll let them describe.
This season of Love Island has really brought out the worst in some of
You
these.
said what? Motherfuckers photoshopped Olandria onto George Floyd's body with Huda on top? Nah, bro. I heard about this, bro. So apparently they made Huda Derek Chauvin and Olandria George Floyd, bro. I feel like that's just crazy racist, bro. Like, I don't even be tapped into the Love Island shit for real, bro. I just be seeing clips of it here and there, bro. But like, nigga, Huda's fan base is toxic as hell, boy. Like, that shit mad. This is coming from me, bro. Like, nigga, Huda's fan base is crazy toxic, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
These fans, because what do you mean you Photoshop
And racist as hell. I ain't gonna hold you.
Olandria onto George Floyd's body and thought everybody was gonna be laughing with you? Cancel the whole show at this point.
What Love Island is experiencing isn't anything new. Two parts. One, making an interracial dating show where there are people of opposite races that are participating in love is going to incite and invite racism, violence,
Yeah, bro, because the people are always going to be weird, and it's not exactly the most enlightened people who are going to be watching every single time, you feel me?
think pieces, disgusting photoshops, all that stuff on the internet. We are not past that as a country, and it's just clear as day on the show. But two, it also, brings up this conversation or talking point about how the cast members themselves need to be vetted more about them and their personal backgrounds. Making sure that they don't have, podcast where they spew the N-word online, or photos from Instagram from years ago where they said Asian slurs. Like, I don't even know how that goes past somebody. Now, granted, they might not have seen it, but the fact still remains that there should be a better vetting process of the participants.
To be fair, I don't really, if it was one thing on the story, bro, like, you said some shit on the story, I don't think there is a way that they would necessarily be able to catch that. So in Sierra's case, I'll cut them a little bit more slack, because that's some shit that you know, if you saw it back there, you should have quickly screen grabbed it, bro. So Sierra's case is a little different, bro. The first shorty, bro, I can't even remember her name, bro. Yeah, she shouldn't have even been on there, bro. She should have been packed up, bro.
On the show. Otherwise, you're going to be faced with America's problem on national television. And I don't think I have enough time to get into the layers and layers and layers of microaggressions that were broadcasted on television from...
Shit, nigga, that's the end of the video, bro. Appreciate y'all niggas for watching, man. Like, subscribe, all that shit, bro. Peace.